Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Demons Within Us, a mental health Q&A, where I, your host Knock Knock Neo, go take questions from Reddit, mental health questions, and I answer them as best as I can. Before I get started, I wanted to say thank you very much to my first 3 subscribers. So I want to say thank you to, I think this is pronounced Chevy Chase. I want to say thank you to XY. And I want to say thank you to Mariana for subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much. That's actually really exciting for me. I didn't know if people were going to like it. I didn't know if I was, people thought I was doing a good job. And the fact that people are watching this, it's really exciting. And I'm not going to lie, I got pretty misty-eyed. So thank you so much. And by subscribing, you're really helping. I believe this is the way it works. Like when you subscribe and like and stuff like that, that like it helps with the other algorithm stuff and like views and how to like get them to be recommended. Anyways, so anyway, I know you're playing your part in that and helping these videos get exposed, and I'm hoping to help more people. So thank you again. And okay, let's get started. So first question is how to find my passion. Hey, yeah, I'm 20 years old and about to hit 21, and I've realized something recently. I don't have passions like other people. There's no skill or profession I wish to pursue, whereas other people I know are constantly pursuing goals in their lives. Whereas I have receded into myself, I've stopped growing as a person, my time has frozen, I fear I may never have the things I truly want in life. So to the good people out there, has anyone been in my spot? How'd you get out? Where did you find your passion? How did you find your passion? And any advice to how I could find mine? That's a really good question. I know I've been hit with this myself with my own struggles, trying to find my passion and who I am. And I guess this comes to a certain age where people want more meaning in their life and they want to go for what they want. So this is totally a question for everybody, and it's a really good one, which is why I want to talk about it. So I think right off the bat, as you can see here, I have also already answered this question, so I decided to just make another video. But ironically, what I'm about to say is a little bit different here. I have some things that I want to touch on, but anyway, just to continue. Number one is you are way too worried about it, right? So here it says here, I've receded into myself, I've stopped growing as a person, my time has frozen, I fear I may never have the things I truly want in life. That is a lot to take on. And what you're actually doing to yourself is because you're putting so much pressure on trying to find a passion, it's preventing you from actually trying to find your passion. Because finding your passion and things that you're interested in, all that kind of stuff, it's really something that you just have to allow to flow. That's really all it is. So you're spending way too much time worrying about it. Stop worrying about it. You're only 20 years old, and you're about to hit 21. I refuse to believe that you've receded into yourself. I don't think you're going to go from being 20 to 15. I really don't think that's going to happen to you. I really don't think you've receded into yourself. Like I said, you're only 20. You've stopped growing as a person. Your time has frozen. Like you're throwing yourself into a panic. That's number one. Number two, the fact that you want to find your passion tells me that you have not stopped growing as a person. You just kind of stuck on how you can grow as a person, right? So this is how essentially you're going to do it. And it's a lot easier than you think it is. So you can start with, did you say that there's nothing that you want? There's no skill or profession I wish to pursue. Okay. I know people are constantly pursuing goals in your lives where I receded to myself. Well, do you have goals? Do you have not even that? Like, is there anything that you wanted to do? It could be something easy. Like it could be something like I've always wanted to learn how to play chess, or I knew somebody a long time ago who wanted to learn how to blow glass, and I thought that was pretty cool. I know somebody who Oh, sorry, I didn't know somebody, but like you can start with something that you've always wanted to try but always passed on. Trying to play an instrument, writing a short story, um, getting really into anything. It starts with that, and then it sort of snowballs into something else. So with me, for my personal story is I know I learned how to sew clothing, but I didn't go into this finding my passion saying, I'm going to learn how to sew clothing. That's not really how it started for me. Like with me, I found myself in the same position as you. I think I was in my mid 20s, and I just wanted to love myself more and do something for me and find something that I wanted to do. And I remembered really enjoying art class. Just high school art class. So what I decided to do was I decided to take an art class in a local community center. So I did that for like maybe a semester or whatever, and that eventually turned into, oh, I want to learn how to draw. I've always wanted to learn how to draw a fashion model. So I ended up going to George Brown. I live in Canada, by the way. I went to go to George Brown college and take a couple of fashion courses. Not necessarily to like get a degree or anything, but just because I just wanted to learn how to draw the fashion figure, so I can draw my own designs and stuff like that. And then while I was in George Brown classes, I said to myself, you know what? I really want to learn how to sew my own clothing. And that actually took me back to memory I had from when I was like a young teen, maybe even like a tween, like 11, maybe 13, something like that. And I remember wanting to sew my own clothes back then. But when I was like 11, 13 or whatever, I was just hating on everything because I just grew up in like a hating environment, so I was a hater. But so I said, you know what, forget that, sewing is for lames. Forget it. I'm not gonna do that. So it turned out that what I told myself I didn't want to do a long time ago ended up being what ended up being something that I should have done from that time, because now that I know how to sew, I love it. I love the creativity that comes with it. I love how it keeps me alive. I love how it enhances my problem solving skills. So with you, what's your name? Chill, chill, Chilwe? I'm sorry, Chilwe. Um, just start with something small. Just anything that you've always wanted to do as a kid. Maybe you saw people skateboarding and you want to learn how to skateboard or bike or dirt bike, and it'll eventually, not eventually, but like it'll likely snowball into other things. Maybe you're into puzzles and you want to try something a little bit more challenging. I heard picking locks is a sort of like a puzzle, because trying to figure out the combination and stuff like that. So I wouldn't worry too, like like I said, you're spending way too much time worrying about, getting stuck in your life and not getting the things that you want and not this and not that, instead of just, listening to that little inner voice into yourself that says, you know what, I want to try this. And even if you pick it up for, like, just say like, oh, you know what, I want to try to do this, and you just try it for a week, at least you got it out there. Because it'll start, like I said, it'll start you on the path, it'll snowball into other things where, like I said, for me, I just started with an art class, and it snowballed into now making outfits for myself. You know what I mean? So just start somewhere and stop worrying so much about where you are and worrying about you're not going to get the things that you want, because that will come to you too. Eventually you're going to have a goal of, for me, I want a sewing studio. You know what I mean? For you, if you want to pick up an instrument, you want like a particular piano, or you want you know what I mean? It'll snowball. All that stuff will come in its own time. But my friend, you just gotta relax and just, yeah, stop worrying about it, because that's preventing you from finding the passion. Okay? Next one. I have no interests or hobbies. All I do is watch stupid effing YouTube videos, movie shows, and play games all day. My mind is a prison. No one gives an F. I'm not deserving of anyone giving an F. It's crap. Okay, I know it's not really a question, but it's something that anybody with depression goes through. I've been through this, and I think maybe, I don't know what to say everybody's been through this, but I know a lot of people have been through this. And judging by the amount of comments, a lot of people are in it like that. And I get it. And this is why this Q&A is called The Demons Within Us, because the depression demon will tell you, well, no one gives an F. It'll also tell you you're not deserving of anybody giving an F. That is absolutely not true. That is not true at all. We are not born hating ourselves. We may be born in a hateful environment, emotionally absent parents, emotionally abusive parents. Maybe somebody took advantage of us, and it was just not a good environment for us to live in. But this is not something that we are born believing about ourselves or thinking about ourselves. This is learned behavior from somewhere, right? So that's number one. This is why this, like I said, this is why it's called. This is just the demons of depression telling that to you, and you need to ignore it. You need to just not believe it. It's not true. So even though this person, lumpy translator, didn't say a lot here, it actually says a lot more than you think. So when you're depressed, it's natural to not want it, to not do anything. It's natural to not take care of yourself. It's natural to have no interests or hobbies. It's natural to lose interest in the interests that you used to have and lose interest in your hobbies and stuff like that. That's what depression does. That is a symptom of it. So don't worry, not necessarily don't worry about it so much, but just you know what it is? Okay, hold on, let me get it back. So this is what depression says. These are what the demons of depression say to you, and it's not true. That's number one. Number two is you judging your depression is also what's making your depression worse. And what I mean by judging your depression is saying this exact phrase: I have no interests or hobbies. All I do is watch stupid effing YouTube movies. Da da da. You calling it stupid, and I have no interests or hobbies. These are self-judgments about your own depression. So you're beating yourself up about being depressed, which is which is completely counterproductive to getting better. So you're depressed, allow yourself to be depressed. And what I mean by that is don't judge your depression. If what you need to do to watch what you need to do to get over your depression or to feel slightly better to the point where you're functional again, because you could be at a point where, let's say, you don't even shower every day. So if you need to watch YouTube videos and movies and play games all day to get to feel better about yourself, to get to the point where you can take a shower again or get out of bed and or maybe eat or whatever, then do that. Don't judge your depression because you're making it worse. That's number one. Number two, okay, so there's another way that you can see that. Actually, wait, hold on. Yeah, don't judge your depression. Okay, now okay, so I have no interests or hobbies. Okay, now if you are complaining, I'm sorry to call it complaining, but it's sort of, or if you're stating, that's a better way to say it. If you're stating that you have no interests or hobbies, then develop interests and hobbies. That's where the whole, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this, but that's where the whole take responsibility for your own feelings comes into play. Because if it's shit and you hate it, you hate the fact that you watch YouTube videos all day and movies and play games, and you hate the fact that you wake up in the morning and say, oh, it's just another day of watching YouTube videos and this and that. Like, if you hate that life, if you hate waking up in the morning and doing that, then it is your responsibility to change those feelings. You know what? Because that's what I had to do too. It got to the point where I got so sick and tired of watching TV that I wanted to do something else. I'm like, oh man, I'm so freaking sick and tired of watching the same freaking shows all the freaking time, and I want to do something different. So that's what I did. I had to, and now I don't. Now waking up in the morning isn't such a drag, or going to bed isn't such a drag, because now I'm taking more responsibility for my day and the feelings that I want to feel. I don't want to feel bored. I don't want to feel, I hate feeling bored. I hate feeling like I'm doing nothing with my life. I hate feeling these things, so you have the power to change your life. That's what that means. It's the little things like that, you know? So now the challenge is that if you if you are wanting to get hobbies and interests and stuff like that, you you can't, because sometimes you just can't. I'm not gonna lie, it's happened to me too. So let's say you want to like get out of bed and you want to go outside and play, or you want to go play basketball or something like that, and then a small voice inside of you says, no, I don't want to, or, because of, or no, I don't want to, or no, I don't feel like it, or no, this or no, that. Ask yourself why, okay? Ask yourself, why don't you want to go outside and play? Or why don't you want to, pick up the guitar like you used to, or, write or sing or bake cookies the way you used to? Why don't you? And the small little voice inside of you might say something like, because I don't want to. Okay, fine. Why don't you want to? Because I don't deserve it, or because I don't. It's not worth it, or um, or yeah. Excuse me. For me personally, it was because I don't deserve it, or I'm not worth it. And before you identify with those feelings of I don't want that, it's not worth it, or I don't deserve it, ask yourself, why don't you deserve to go outside and play? Or why don't you deserve to bake the cookies the way you used to? Or why don't you, or why don't you deserve, essentially, why are you not deserving of a better life? Or why aren't you deserving of spending better time, or doing better, spending your time a lot better than, complaining, or complaining about, watching shows and videos and playing games all day. Especially if you're doing nothing except watching, let's say, fail videos for 12 hours straight. Like, why are you not deserving of something better? You know? Because there's nothing wrong with watching fail videos. They're hilarious. But if you are watching fail videos every day for 12 hours a day on YouTube, why are you doing that? Because you are deserving of a better life than that. We all are. We all are beings that can create, and who have a capacity for intelligence and competent and great, and well, competent and all that great stuff. But if you believe that you are not worth a better life, then you need to explore that, right? So you need to explore that. So with me, when I felt like I didn't deserve a better life, it was because I felt guilty about something that I did a long time ago, and I haven't forgiven myself yet. So my guilt is preventing me from enjoying my life going forward. That was one of the reasons why it was tough for me to break out of my depression, because I've treated people pretty crappily, and I regret it. And I had to forgive myself and make them, and reach out to people and tell them I'm sorry and all that kind of stuff, to make peace with myself, so I can give myself a second chance to give myself a better life with interests and hobbies and stuff like that. I hope that makes sense. That sounded really jumbled, but like I said, I hope it makes sense. So yeah, so maybe you did something that made you and you feel really guilty about it, and it's preventing you from having the life that you want. So you need to do a little soul searching and forgive yourself. Do the inner work and forgive yourself. And then, you'll be able, and then that'll open up your world into wanting to explore interests and hobbies and stuff like that. Or maybe, you have problems with self-worth. Maybe somebody treated you really poorly. Maybe somebody abused you. Maybe you grew up in a very critical home where you were verbally or physically, maybe even sexually abused. And it made you feel completely and utterly worthless. Maybe you weren't shown a lot of love when you were a kid. You had emotionally absent parents, and you didn't feel like they loved you, even when you did something good. You brought home a good grade, and they just ignored you. And you were hoping for some praise, or for some, shred of love. So you grow up most of your childhood with feelings of worthlessness, like you don't matter, like nobody gives a crap about you, right? And because we feel those things, and those feelings are given to us at such a young and impressionable age, especially by somebody more likely that we look up to, it becomes a core belief. So we end up believing that we are worthless. We end up believing that we're nothing, that we're not worth it, that we're not worth a better life. And what you have to do is realize that those core beliefs are not really core beliefs. They're just criticisms or verbal abuse from somebody from somebody that you depended on and you cared about and you believed in, and you internalized their criticism. So that's really what it is. It's internalized criticism, it's internalized abuse turning into a core belief about yourself. So you need to change the core belief. So how do you change your core beliefs? I know it's how do you change your core beliefs? So let's say one of your core beliefs is, oh my gosh, is that, well, you're feeling worthless. So you're feeling worthless because you realize because your dad said so, right? So think about a time that your dad made you feel worthless, and maybe it was a time you, I don't know, pick any time, pick any time. Now, are you were you really worthless for doing that? Because sometimes parents just yell at us for something that they don't want to blame on, they blame us for something that they did. So really look into it. I don't know what really happened. Like, you really have to do the inner work. I can only I guess dissect is the word, so much. But if you find that you don't have the will to get up and find other hobbies and interests despite you wanting to, there could be something else blocking you from doing that, such as guilt, such as a core belief that you're not worth it. And then you got to do the inner work in order for those feelings to go away, and then make room for other feelings, like the feelings of joy that you'll get when you find these interests and hobbies and stuff like that. Okay? There's something else that I want to say about this too. Um, oh yeah, also, so back to the first point so if you've done all the inner work and you've self-forgiven and you realize that the criticisms from and the abuse that's in your head that abuse that's in your head that you believed in, that you no longer believe in, and you're still having a hard time, still don't judge it. Allow yourself to do whatever it is you gotta do just to be at a normal feeling state, right? Because eventually, once you clear out all those skeletons in your closet, or all those demons, so to speak, once those things eventually go away, you are naturally going to want a better life for yourself. So that's what eventually ended up happening to me too. So after all the self-forgiveness and all the inner work that I had to go through to clear all those demons out, and stuff like that, I still allowed myself to watch TV all the time. But while I was watching TV, all that I said in my head was, man, I need something better to do with my life than watching TV all day. Or, man, I need something to do than play Candy Crush all day, because that's not cool. Like, I can do so much more things than just watch TV, right? And yeah, but I still didn't know what it is that I wanted to do, right? So you still sit with it. Don't judge it, just sit with it. And then eventually, as more time passes, because it's always going to tumble in your mind, right? So eventually you're going to tumble in your mind enough to the point where you'll have like your moment. And it'll be, for me, it was these videos. I was like, oh, I really want to, because you realize, as when you think about it, you realize, things, oh, but I really want to do this. Or what about I go volunteer? Or what if I go do this? Or what if I go cook? Or what if I go, and then things will eventually snowball, like I said. Now, I was looking, this particular user also has a few things to say down here to it. I think that I wanted to address. Um, okay, so for this person, okay, so I wanted to, okay, so here, watching films and shows and playing games are perfectly legitimate hobbies. It's really debatable whether or not watching YouTube videos and playing games and stuff like that are hobbies. Because there's a difference between hobbies and pastimes, right? And I'll look it up right now. Pastimes versus hobbies. There's like a definition or something. Okay, hobby means an activity that one enjoys doing in one's spare time, whereas pastime means something which amuses and serves to make time pass agreeably. Okay, so in this particular situation, the way he says it is watching stupid effing YouTube videos, movies, shows, and games all day. So if he thinks it's stupid, I don't think it's a hobby. I think it's fair to say that these are pastimes. He's just using these things just to pass the time agreeably instead of staring at the wall or whatever, right? So, and for some people, watching films and shows and playing games are legitimate hobbies, and and depending on the context, they are. So if you have, let's say, a legitimate interest in, in historical war, like World War II and the Cold War, stuff like that, you're naturally gonna watch videos about that era. If you like gaming, I know gaming is great for coordination and stuff like that, but I think it depends on the context. Like how would gaming be a hobby? Because I know you play it, I know it's fun to play with and pass time. But I guess I don't know, I guess if you have a goal of you know, raising money for charity, or you have a goal of even, let's say, going to some sort of Marvel versus Capcom championship or something like that. That's a goal. If it has an end goal, then gaming can be a hobby. But if you're just using it because you have nothing, if you're just playing it because, just to pass the time, nothing else to do or whatever, then I would consider that to be a pastime. But you're really the judge. You're the judge of however you want to do it. That's just my perspective on it. So, so here he says, let me translate her. Here he says, for me, it just leaves me feeling empty and unfulfilled. Well, that makes sense because it's not, because the videos that you're watching are not nourishing you. These are just pastimes that you're doing just to literally pass the time. Um, what else did you want to say that I wanted to address? Okay, I do all of these things not because I enjoy them, but because I'm too afraid to do anything else. I do them to escape the reality of my sad and pathetic situation. Okay, so this tells me that there are things that needs to be addressed, and I don't know what they are. I don't know what the reality of his sad and pathetic situation is. Um, I really wish. Okay, they make me feel good to a certain extent, but I really wish I had the courage and drive to want to do things and like make friends and play sports. Okay, so the first comment I said is that is boring and unfulfilled. He's too afraid to do anything else. He uses it to escape his reality, and he really wishes he has the courage and drive to want to do things like make friends or play sports. What can I say about that? I'm too afraid to do anything else. I do them to escape the reality of my sad and pathetic situation. Okay, I wish I can say more about this part. I do all the things not because I enjoy them. So he's doing them, okay, so like I said, to pass the time. I'm too afraid to do anything else. And I'm too to escape the reality of my okay. I I would want to ask questions at this point and say why would you think that your reality is sad and pathetic? What is it that exactly that you're afraid of is something else that I would ask. Um, because that would give me a little bit more clarity about the situation and maybe, give some answers and having given when he gives me the answers, I can, you know, try to get him to get the courage to get hobbies and interests. I really wish I had the courage and drive to want to do things and make friends. I don't know, maybe you have something, I don't know, I said earlier that maybe you have some residual guilt from something from the past that you need to deal with. Maybe you have some sort of, or maybe like I said earlier as well, that you feel like you're not worth it because somebody along the line in your life somewhere said that you weren't. Um, my mind feels stuck and I don't have any drive or purpose. Um, that's more, it just really sounds like you're trying to figure it out. Like you're frustrated. It just feels like you're frustrated about where you are and you're trying to figure it out. He said something here too. Okay, here. I want to do different things, but people and everything terrify me. Okay, so that can stem from social phobia, some sort of social anxiety disorder. Maybe you were bullied most of your life that prevents you from wanting to go out, and then when you do go out, you continue to be bullied. Maybe you're in some sort of pattern. Um, it could be, a lot of things. It could be a lot of things. Like it really depends on you. So you could have, you know, some sort of general anxiety disorder or a social phobia or something like that if you're terrified of people and everything. If that sounds like that's what it is instead of like a self-worth issue or like a guilt issue. But nonetheless, I think that's all I really have to say about that. If there's anything else that you'd like for me to address, please feel free to email me. You can email me at knockknockneoyt@gmail.com. I'll leave a link at the bottom, where the description area of YouTube video is. And if I've helped you or you like what I do and you want to donate to the cause, I would really appreciate that as well. I'll also leave donation information at the bottom at the description part of the screen as well. Is that all I have to do? Oh, if you want to check out my credentials and how I first started, you can go to sevencups.com/@ knock knock neo, and it gives you, and it's an open page. You don't have to log in or create an account or anything like that. And I'm also, as you see, I'm on Reddit here. So I have a Reddit account, and my Reddit username is at the demons within us, and you can check out, I'm pretty sure that you can check out like the messages that I posted and the comments that I've left on threads and stuff like that if you want to check out my work. I think that is all for today. Once again, thank you to my brand new 3 subscribers. Thank you so much in helping spread the word. Please, if you like the video, I hate to sound just like everybody else, but liking, subscribing really helps in spreading this mental health help to a lot of people. And yeah, I think if we're all mentally healthy, we'll all be happier and maybe the world will be a little bit of a better place. So thank you and take care. Bye.